Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of 911 on Fox, Season 6, Episode 3. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted reality shows, and also do reactions. If you're returning, you one of my peoples, welcome back. So, we have one comment from last week's video. It's from Still Rising. Hey, boo. I would love to see Angela's husband, Cordy, in a guest appearance episode. That would be I love me some Cordy B. Vance. Y'all, when I tell you when he was on, what's it called? Lovecraft Country. I was like, why they had to do him like that? Why they had to do Uncle George like that? Like, them two being together, I'm Still Rising. Hey, boo, thank you for the comment. I would love to see them in some type of episode on 911 on Fox as well. Yeah. But y'all, what I tell you, this episode was so heavy and it had so many twists and turns. I was like, whew. I'm like, I had to stop for a minute and, get on YouTube and look at something that wasn't so heavy because it was a lot. Like, once it got to a certain point, I was like, I no longer suspected the daddy. I no longer suspected the mama. I was looking elsewhere, but I was like, I couldn't tell of which elsewhere I was going. But yeah. It's in 1977, and Athena's mom and daddy's house. Athena decides she gonna help her mama, dry the dishes, something she would never do. But she wanted to stay up and wait until the daddy got home. Daddy is late because he got a flat tire. He had to fix that. So, yeah. A little while later, Athena is waking up because a neighbor has come over saying that her daughter's missing, and the daddy, he gets his gun, and there's a search party to look for, what's her name? Tanya. Search party's on. We're going to look for Tanya. Of course, Athena, she is, this is scary. This is somebody I know. This is a next door neighbor. This little girl is missing. It looks like somebody just went through her window and has taken her. This can happen to me. Like, what's good? What is going on? All the things in her mind. Now we are in present day, and the police are taking fingerprints of the daddy, even though he is still in a coma. Now, mama, she not here for this because daddy, he is in a medically induced coma. He cannot give any type of a consent, but the police have a warrant to get DNA and fingerprints off of the daddy to see if it matches with the body who they believe is Tanya's. And this is when they want to bring Mama and Athena down to the station. Like, yes, it has been 40 years, but, like, we need to get as much information as we can so that we can figure out, okay, who's guilty, who's innocent. Like, we need to be crossing our T's and dotting our I's. Now, when Athena and Bobby get back to the house, the contractor who built the room where the body was found said that the daddy wanted it put up the day after Tanya went missing. It's like, mama been doggone asking daddy for the longest of time. I want an extra room put on. I don't know if it was like an extra room put on or was it a garage that was converted to an extra room, because that happens a lot here in Houston. People's like, okay, we have a garage, we can just build a carport to put the car, the car can park under, and we can just, the garage is now an extra room that add value to the house. So I don't know if it was that type of situation, but either way, the contractor, Reggie, he was like, Reggie Sr. was like, yeah, your daddy wanted to put it in a day, after Tanya went missing. Now, Athena's like, okay, now she questioning things. There's too many coincidences going on. Daddy came home late. His clothes was dirty. He wanted to put up this, get this new built on, like, right after Tanya was missing. He was helping with the search party. And sometimes people who are responsible for somebody going missing, they want to lead the charge. And, like, go back to the scene of the crime. Get some kind of thrill and joy out of it. So, Bobby is like, you need to be getting as much as evidence you can because they're going to be waking your daddy up in a few days. And you want to have all your paperwork in order so you are not surprised by anything. So this is when she getting her detective work on. They are outside of Tanya's house when Tanya's sister pops up with a gun talking about your daddy is an unaliver. I should not go to, take you out right here like your daddy took my sister out. She doing all those things. Now, Bobby and Athena were able to calm her down. It's like, we just want some answers. So they in the house, they talking, and Athena noticed that the flower bed outside, it wasn't straight. It was like leaned over, like somebody had used it to get it out. It's like that may have been what the person had used, but it was like, yeah, but that seemed like it had been used more than once. And this is when we find out that the sister, what's her name, we're gonna go with sister, she was a sneaker outer. That's what she liked to do. She liked to sneak in and outside the house. And the night that Tanya went missing, sister snuck out, and Tanya snuck out too and followed her. Sister, she was at like a little bonfire situation with her friends, drinking beer, and Tanya showed up. Tanya just wanted to hang out with her friends, see what they was doing, and have a beer. It's like, okay, we're going to do this my way, or I'm going to go home and tell mama and you're going to get in trouble. Which way you want to do this? Because I am all for telling mama, okay? So she was like, okay, you can stay for an hour. So they didn't see Tanya after a while, so she assumed Tanya went home. And this is when I noticed, she was like, I noticed before Tanya had just left, she was like, hey, Junior, get her a beer. And I remember the contractor's son's name was Junior. I put that in my head. I was like, okay, contractor, son. He was at that bonfire. He gave her a beer. This is when I was like, this is when I don't think it was mama or the daddy. So I think it's mama or daddy. This is when I'm shifting on Junior. I was focused on him. So she says when she got home, Tanya was not there. And she lied and said that she woke up and she couldn't find Tanya. She's been living with this guilt for the last 40 years. Like, if I hadn't went out that night, Tanya wouldn't have followed me and she would still be here with us. Now, this is when the police showed up, because before they was able to calm her down, she had called the police on them. And the police, they want to, which, by the way, she called the police, and in that time they had time to calm her down, bring her inside, and her and tell this whole entire story. And as soon as the story was over, this is when y'all show up. But anyways, Athena is taken down to the station because you are interfering with the investigation. So she was like, well, I found out that Tanya had snuck out that night. Nobody came in and got her. So they going through forensics, like your daddy's DNA was on her body and all this stuff. We looking at forensics evidence. A lot of it had been disintegrated, but it showed that her body had been doused in hydrated lime. This is, she was like, well, Reggie Sr., he said that he had poured the foundation and left it to cure, and somebody could have put that girl in there. And it was the wording that he used was like, okay, it's looking like the person who did this covered Tanya's body in lime and then buried her in the cement. So it was like, okay, this is looking like, because then Reggie Sr., he didn't went to the hospital because he is more guilt-ridden, because like, my friends, people are looking, the whole town is looking like, and the thing is, daddy, like, he out here just unaliving little girls, and that's not true, and it's just weighing heavy on his part. Now Junior, he didn't decide that he gonna kidnap Joanne. That's his sister named Joanne, the neighbor lady, because he got to tie up loose ends, and he gonna frame her for the unaliving of Tanya. So we find out that Tanya was leaving the party. Junior sees her, and he's like, he gonna give her a ride. And his plan was to get her drunk and take advantage of her, but she wasn't liking the way he was talking. And she was like, no, bump that. And the last few minutes of this episode, seeing Tanya run for her life, I was like, I looked at that clock and I was like, oh my goodness, can this please be over? Because that little girl, she acted her tail off running through that doggone orange orchard or whatever that orchard was, running for her life. And this almost grown man back here chasing her down because of the issues he got going on with him. It was, I didn't think I was going to be able to finish it. I've already done 3 videos and I decided that I'm going to save this one for last because I didn't know if I was going to have the energy to do videos after watching this episode. Oh my goodness, just seeing that little girl run and running for her life and not knowing if she was going to make it, it was just too much. So Athena gets on the phone with Bobby and Bobby's like, I remember Joanne saying that this car had showed up and they kind of left because, you know, they thought it was a grown up. And she remembered that car going pop, pop, pop. And Bobby remembered that Reggie Sr.'s truck did the same thing. So they put 2 and 2 together. It had to be Junior, which turned out to be true. You know, Junior kidnapped Joanne and Bobby shows up, they wrestle, he takes off running, and Thing was able to, like, after a minute, chase him down and clunk him over the head. And they was able to arrest him. Now, Reggie Sr. is getting questioned, but Athena goes in there because she's like, I felt like it would be a lot harder for you to lie to me than it would be for you to lie to the police. And he thought he was just protecting his son. Reggie Jr. was his only son, and he had to do everything he could to protect him. But in doing so, he said it so other little girls could be attacked because Reggie Jr., he said it was an accident, but he continued to attack young girls. Now, I don't know if he just attacked them or if he did other things to them like he did Tanya, not so much like buried in somebody's house, but yes, he was still after 40 years, for the past 40 years, attacking little girls just in plain sight. And I was like, the fact that your son did this and then you went to your friend's hospital room with all this guilt on you, knowing your son that did this, and then you planted this little girl in a house, so if something did happen, it was going to be blamed on them. Some innocent people could have went to jail for this little girl's unaliving, and your son is the one who did this and continue to do this. When I tell you this episode was so heavy, it was focused on giving justice to Tanya. And then this is the whole reason that Athena became a police officer in the first place, because they was never able to find Tanya. And the whole time, Tanya was buried under her parents' house because this creepy, nasty man and the daddy who knew about it. Whew. So y'all, that was the gist. If I left anything out about me, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It is free all day, every day, $3.99. Make sure your notifications are on. So when my beautiful face puts up a video, you can click on it, you can like it, and you share with your people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples. If you're already one of my people, so welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people to tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.